I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I had a post that stopped my scroll. It was a statistic about Costa Rica that 80% of expats that move to Costa Rica end up leaving within 2 years. So I kind of got curious. I'm like, what's happening? That a person will pack up all their stuff, leave their country of origin, move to Costa Rica, and then end up packing up again and leaving. So I want to share my experience of the good, bad, and ugly of Costa Rica. Maybe it will help someone out there. I don't know. But there's no perfect country on this planet. You're not going to find that. Every country has its issues. But I believe if you are choosing to live somewhere else, empower yourself by really seeing if the good, the bad, and the ugly actually works for you. And then that way you're making a choice based on awareness. But sometimes life doesn't work like that. You only may truly know until you get here. And if it does happen and then you find that, hey, this is not the country for me, it's okay. You can choose again. Sometimes we think we're stuck with our choices, but you can always choose again. So enjoy this video. Make sure you like, share, comments, and also subscribe. The US does an exceptional job in making our lives very convenient. And when you travel to other parts of the world, you notice immediately when you don't have those conveniences, simple conveniences like your garbage being picked up. I was off grid and I had a different experience with that. Garbage pickup happened once a week, and you had to take your garbage to a physical location. I didn't have a vehicle, so I had to walk the garbage to that location, and it was up that hill. So take the garbage, start to walk up this hill right here. I wanted to give y'all a sense of the hill. So this is now approaching the top of the hill. I'm all the way back down there, all the way back down there. And we still continuing, y'all. Still continuing. Costa Rica is a dog-friendly country. These dogs just showed up. Don't know whose dogs they were. Maybe community dogs. So if you have a dog phobia, you probably need to get over it, because everywhere you go, you will encounter a dog or a pack of dogs. This dog right here was causing me some trauma. It would bark at me, and one day it had the nerve to come right up to me, and I said, no, no, no. Cannot be afraid. Let's talk about the food in Costa Rica, y'all. They are plating these plates. They are plating these plates. I had some really good food, but there's a difference between food you get in a tourist town versus in a soda, which is a mom and pop restaurant. This is a plantain pizza. Ooh, y'all. And I also love that you can order smoothies pretty much at any soda. Smoothies, they call them naturals. This is a guanapa smoothie, which is a soursop smoothie. Cost of food overall, I think it's very affordable, especially fruits and vegetables. If you buy them from the fruit stands and if you get the brands that are non-American, it is affordable. This here cost me about $28. I also had some fresh eggs as well, but y'all can't get that in the US. I firmly believe the food in the US is truly killing us. When I am here in Costa Rica, I am not lactose intolerant, but when I'm in the US, I cannot drink the milk there. Transportation can be a little bit of challenge here in Costa Rica, especially if you're trying to get to other parts. It can be expensive, but the bus system is very affordable. I had to travel 5 hours away. By taxi, it would have cost me $2.50 versus $10 by bus. Yeah, girl is on the bus. The bus. The buses here do not have air conditioning. So basically, you're opening your window to get that fresh air. I didn't have a problem with it. You adapt, sometimes it did get hot, but you just go with the flow. The scenery is beautiful, so it wasn't a hassle for me. Sometimes things happen unexpectedly on these buses. While we were traveling, I heard a pop. I had been asleep. That pop woke me up. Didn't think anything of it because no one around me was panicking. Fell back asleep and then woke back up again. We were at a gas station and we actually had a flat tire. Now, this is what I love about the people of Costa Rica. They did not panic at all. For long bus rides, you do stop part of the way. Everyone has to get off the bus, but they stop at a place where you can grab some food. Just make sure you are getting back on the right bus. Internet, Wi-Fi has been really good here, even off grid. So if you have a remote business, need to work remote, you will have no issues at all. What you have to be aware of are outages. So what I mean by outages are electric and water outages. Costa Rica is an environmentally friendly country, so they're going to practice sustainable practices here. So the way they source their electricity is through hydroelectricity. Hydroelectricity is when you use water to convert it into kinetic energy, and y'all seen those wind turbines. They take that kinetic energy, convert it into mechanical energy, which is now turned into your electricity. So let's say you have a rain shortage and everything that's happening with climate change, if it's not raining as much, you're gonna have to probably have some outages to sustain what you have. Thankfully, the area where I am, so this is where it also becomes important about where you live, is I'm surrounded by a body of water, a lake, and it has been raining quite a bit here. Initially, they were going to do those outages, but when I got here, that rain started pouring down. It started coming down consistently, so we haven't had any outages. So make sure you're familiar with the area you're moving to. Are they going to have those outages? I know some places that are having both a they're doing outages for the water as well as for the electricity. And depending on when you are, it could be like for 3 hours, it could be for longer. So these are things y'all have to be aware of. Maybe consider bringing a generator if you're making this home. Things to consider. Are you going to be okay with that? Like if you don't have any water, electricity. Personally, I'm good with it. The life here is so simple that you just learn to go with the flow. Go with the flow, sis. So, something that may not work for everyone is life is really simple here, especially if you live in some of these smaller towns. It is simple. Like my daily life, I would wake up. This is where I'm living, get my exercise in. I purposely moved from off grid to integrate within the community because it's not sustainable. You have to be a part of the community for any of this to work. If you live in isolation, it is going to be kind of hard, and you're in a foreign country. So it kind of makes sense to integrate with the people, especially if you are going to live here long term. I'm just going to let y'all enjoy the beauty that is here surrounding me. So when I say life is simple, I mean really simple. I don't have TV. I'll come back after my walk and just be present in nature, noticing the smells of this place. I would be able to do things like that where I can really tap into me, the way I'm feeling, and you're surrounded by like hummingbirds. I see hummingbirds every day, all kinds of birds. I can actually notice what is around me because that's what I have, is what is around me. You don't have the distractions at all. And you get to focus within. Also do a lot of reading as well. A lot of resting. And also creating my life and business. The insects of Costa Rica. We got to have that conversation. So let's get real about the insects of Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a tropical climate, and that means you're going to have a biodiversity of insects here, and depending on where you are in Costa Rica. So if you're by the ocean, it's hot and humid. So you're going to have your set of different kinds of insects that thrive in that climate. I'm where it's a little bit cooler, and so there is its own set of insects here. So one thing about Costa Rica is that you're gonna have to kind of accept is you're gonna co-live with these insects. Yes, they're going to be living with you. And the ones that I've seen that are pretty consistent in living with you are geckos. You know, at this point in time, I just say, what's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Spiders, no, I kill them. If I see a spider, we're killing you. Unfortunately, because I don't know if you're poisonous or non-poisonous, so you just gotta go. Ants. Child, the ants here are, I've never seen ants like this before. The best solution is fumigation. Fumigate, because these ants are different. They are different. They're smart and they're different. That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you have an ant issue, make sure you fumigate your entire house and make sure you do it consistently. Thank goodness I've not seen roaches here. Hallelujah. I do not like roaches. But I hear, like, based on, depending on where you are in Costa Rica, you may have a roach issue. Fumigate. Now, the reason why you probably co-live is if you notice the doors. I've seen this pretty consistently. I just got bit by a mosquito and I have bug spray on, but we good. The cracks in the doors, like you can see that I'm showing you right now, that's been a pretty consistent theme with the doors. There's some places where the doors are not like that, but if your door's like that, everyone and their mother is coming in. And you'll randomly find insects, you know, millipedes, centipedes. I actually killed my first scorpion. I found it in the bathroom, and there are 14 different species of scorpions in Costa Rica. I just killed it. In my past, I probably would have packed my bags and said deuces. But I really have come to this space. I think with the forest therapy, you learn to commune with the land, and you start to release like these fears that you've probably taken on from other people. So I haven't got to the space where I'm like, I'm gonna sweep the spider out. I'm gonna put a glass and cover it up and take it outside. I'm not there, y'all. There are things that I'm killing out here. And so that's what we're gonna do. That's what we do. I hope I don't see another scorpion because I don't wanna interact with that again. But this is something to be aware of. So if you have a bug phobia, maybe start to get over that bug phobia if you want to live in a tropical climate, because you're going to encounter these insects, and they are beautiful. Like when I think about it, I'm like, they're cool. They're actually cool. But you have to get to a space where you are in allowance of them and you are not scared of them and you are willing to be with them. And that kind of helps you like co-live with them and maybe possibly become friends. Maybe. But that's something I want y'all to be aware of about the insects of Costa Rica, and you do not have to be afraid. So I'm taking back what I said about spiders. I'm not killing all spiders. After I saw this spider helping out your good sis, you can see that it has captured this centipede, and I'm like, okay, you got me. So the question you're probably wondering if I asked this question, ¿hay serpientes aquí? I did ask that question here. And what that is do y'all have some snakes up in Chia? Up in Chia. Do y'all have some snakes up in Chia? And what I was told is no. He hadn't seen any snakes. Where I am here, there are snakes in this area. He did say there are snakes in this area, in this town, in this pueblo. But my theory, honestly, is the snakes here, they get to be in their domain. I think about Florida, how they're building. And so when you do that, you're taking snakes out of their natural habitat. They got to go somewhere. So you may find a snake or two in your yard, in your home, because that's the only space that's left with them, because y'all building, y'all taking their places. Over here, they have the jungle. It's like, even though I'm in a small city, I still think this is like still off grid, but like I have, their next door neighbors, and there's a farm next door. Across the street, there's a farm over there. So they can be in their natural habitat, thriving. They've probably got lots of food. They ain't trying to play around over here where it's probably not as much good food over here. Whereas if you're in your natural habitat, wouldn't you stay there? If you're in your paradise, you're going to be over there. So over here, up in Chia, ain't no snakes over here. But they're around in the city. But you don't have to be afraid. Now that's someone who hasn't seen a snake yet. Had I seen one? Ciao. Something important to educate yourself is really about the climate of Costa Rica. Costa Rica is in what's called a ring of fire. So basically, their earthquakes and volcanoes can erupt. Where I am, I actually experienced a 4.4 to 4.9 earthquake. Basically, it was just like a mini earthquake. My bed was shaking, like everything was kind of like shaking. But had I not known that, I may have been afraid and probably packing my bags right away and saying, what is happening here? So as you're looking at the different areas of Costa Rica that you're moving to, look at the climate there. Are they mudslides? Like, what happens when they get really bad weather? Banking in Costa Rica. I'm going to take a pause. Because banking is not easy here. So one of the things that I had an experience with the banking is I went to an ATM and went to take money out because I needed some colones. And so you can do that here. You can use your US debit card to do that. Put my card in, and then no money came out. Thankfully, my card came back, but I didn't get the money that I asked for. So I went inside the bank and explained what happened. They said basically you're going to have to reach out to your bank and you're going to have to work with them. So I was like, wow. But I did not panic. And the reason I didn't panic is because I had a plan a plan B, and a plan C around money and banking. My plan A was like, okay, my plan A account is, you know what? I'm good. If the card disappears, if I don't get the money back, I'm good. So when that happened, I was actually okay because I had my plan B and C account. I was able to file a dispute with my bank, and it took about close to a month just to get my money back. So when you are traveling to a international country, definitely have some plans around your money because anything can happen here, and also be prepared with the banking. In the area that I'm in, you don't have to wait like for really long lines. It depends on the day, but in some areas, people are waiting over 2 hours just to have a banking transaction. So that's what I'll say about the banking system here. Since I've been here, I've had no air conditioning. And that's something to consider, especially if you are in a hot and humid area of Costa Rica. Air conditioning can be very expensive here. So if you're in a hot, humid area, you really may need air conditioning. In this area, fortunate enough, the climate is cooler. When it rains, it actually cools down, so you can get away with opening a window. And it really doesn't get that humid. There are some hot days, but you can also get away with a fan and be okay. And so, yeah, like, are you going to be okay if you don't have air conditioning? You move somewhere and you're expecting air conditioning and it's not there. That may be an inconvenience, especially if you're used to having air conditioning. So after everything I've experienced here so far, would I make Costa Rica my home? I absolutely love Costa Rica. There's an energy about this place, the spirit of pura vida, the simplicity of life. Like, I feel like I am truly living life here. I'm alive. My life isn't perfect here. Different things show up in my life, but this is the place that has welcomed me. I feel safe here. I feel seen here. There's a peace that cometh here, that cometh from being here. I'm truly grateful for the people of Costa Rica. These are some of the most beautiful people I've met anywhere in the planet. And thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, comment in the comments what questions you have, and turn on those alerts so you can receive my next video.